Welcome back to A Book for My Sister podcast, where we are just two sisters hanging out and talking about books. My name's Cassie.
And my name's Amelia.
And we have a lot of book thoughts. So thanks for joining us today, and we hope you follow along our reading journey by subscribing to our podcast and leaving us some comments on what you're reading right now. Today's episode is going to be a little short, a little conversational. It's like we're on the phone. So come eavesdrop on our phone conversation.
On our telephone conversation.
Yeah. So, anywho, Amelia, what are you sipping on right now?
I'm boring today. I just have some water. It's the middle of the day.
It is the middle of the day. We're doing it later.
We are going. I would have grabbed a little something, but we're going to a coffee shop. Me and Thomas are going to go sit in a coffee shop after this so that I can sit down and finish all of Lost World so that we can record Lost World in like a week or two. So I'll be drinking some coffee in an hour. But right now, I have some water. So what are you drinking?
Stay hydrated.
Fun? You gotta do it.
No, I'm also drinking just water. But I had my coffee earlier today because I went to the farmer's market.
What kind of coffee did you have?
I had a delicious Mexican mocha. Delish. It was so good.
Oh, that sounds delightful.
Yeah, nice warm Mexican mocha. It was cold outside, a little spice, a little chocolate. Loved it.
Yummy.
And then I also had a vanilla strawberry rooibos iced tea.
Oh my God.
So I've had my fill of fun little drinks today.
I really am jealous that you had that tea.
No, it was really good.
Y'all, that tea is so good. I had coffee this morning. I speed drank my coffee before we had to go to our little art class that we just did. And I made a little French toast latte at 9:30 this morning. It was fine. I think that I liked those for a couple of weeks, and now I'm kind of like, I could do without the French toast latte. There's just a little too many things going on in it for me.
That's fair.
Yeah. So
sometimes it's too much.
I know, it was too much. Anyway, anywho. Do you have anything else to add?
I don't think so. Amelia, thanks for calling me on this Saturday.
It's
for calling me on this Saturday. What's up, girl? What are you reading?
Oh my God. Well, Cassie, I'm so glad you asked.
I'm going in a tunnel.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. Continue.
All the abundance of tunnels in the city that you live in.
So many tunnels.
So I just finished reading this book called Katabasis by R.F. Kuang. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I had to look up a video of the author pronouncing the title, and it's a Greek word that means something. I can't remember.
Important.
It's not important. I actually got this book when we were walking around when I was around for Christmas, and remember we went and got a little nice fancy coffee, we walked to the little bookstore.
And I remember you were looking everywhere for this book, and then I found it.
I was. Well, I was looking for for Babel by R.F. Kuang. Babel, I don't know.
I assume Babel.
I don't know. It's A-B-E. Would that not be Abe? Babel?
Well, isn't that how Babel's spelled in the Bible, and it's Babel?
I think so.
So that's what I'm thinking of.
In the same video that I watched of her pronouncing the title of this book, she also said that she doesn't care how people pronounce Babel.
Then who cares?
So I don't care. But I was looking for that one, and I couldn't find it because they didn't have it. So I instead got Katabasis, which is her newest book. It came out in 2025. Oh my gosh. I can't believe that it's actually 2026. I keep thinking that it's 2025, and it's really throwing me off. But yeah. So, and then we went to this little bookstore, and then we walked back to my car in the rain. So that's one of the books that I got at the little bookstore. And this book was super fun, and it really, Katabasis. Katabasis it takes place at Cambridge University, but it's like the 60s. And the thing that's different is that it's like magic is real, because there's like it's like academic magic. So it's like not like It's not really like Harry Potter. It's sort of, I guess you could call this book Dark Academia. They don't use wands in this book. So it's not like, you're waving around a wand like all the wizards that we usually read about. They're not called wizards either. They're called magicians. And so magic is like something that is taught in like higher education that you can take. And it's like very rigorous work. And so instead of using wands, they use chalk to cast spells. And the way that you cast a spell is you actually have to draw a pentagram on the ground and you fill it in with like a bunch of tiny little symbols and like circles. And then when you're done, you have to make sure that all of your work is closed, because if any of the loops are open, then it could be really bad. So you have to make sure all of your work is super accurate. And then you stand in the middle of the pentagram and you chant you chant the spell while you stand in the middle of the pentagram, and then it does whatever you need to do.
Okay.
But, you got to have a surface to draw on with chalk. You can't just wave a wand. You have to, like, draw a pentagram, and it's a lot of work.
What I'm imagining, because you said it's kind of like a little like Harry Potter where it's just magic is real. I'm imagining, like dueling and like that kind of stuff. So my first thought is two magicians are really just getting at it. They're really mad at each other. And he says, "Oh, I'm gonna kick your ass
furiously on the ground.
Oh, when I finish drawing this, you're gonna be so sorry." Like that's what I'm imagining.
I think that it's not like Harry Potter. I don't think that they're doing. It's really more of an academic field.
Okay,
than like there are in the book, we do hear about like some famous magicians that like do like magic shows basically. But it's really more of like an academic subject. It's kind of like science and math, but it's magic.
That's really interesting.
And it was really interesting. And so I thought it was a fun take on magic, because it wasn't just like your typical magic, It was like totally different, which I thought was kind of fun. And so our main character is Alice, and she's a PhD student at Cambridge, and she is studying analytical magic.
Oh, Jesus.
And she's also into like linguistics. So she does a lot of like, I don't know, like magic in other languages and stuff. And like, it's just very interesting. And so her advisor though, so the problem is that her advisor, whose name is Jacob Grimes, is like notorious for being like awful and like very tough, but like very smart. And she wanted to work with him so badly because she knew that once she worked with him, she would get any job. She could do anything she wanted to do. And so, she goes and she signs up for him knowing that she was like, he can't be that bad. And then he's actually like really terrible. Mm-hmm. And she's like not taking care of herself and da-da-da. And these are no spoilers, because I'm just giving you the brief, description of the book. So this is not a spoiler when I tell you this. But one day, she's drawing a pentagram for him because he doesn't do any of his own like work, basically. He just has his student workers do it for him, and then he'll practice or something. I know.
Typical tenured professor.
I know. And so Alice is drawing the pentagram for him, and then she's like, okay, it's done. And he gets in it, and the pentagram is not properly drawn. There's like a half a centimeter of like where she didn't close a circle. And so he explodes and dies.
Wow.
He dies. And in this world, hell is like a real thing. So they like look at texts like Dante's Inferno as like a historical text.
Interesting.
And I know. And like they read, like she has like done a lot of research on like other texts that have to do with hell and like layers of hell that like exist, like really exist in our, like in the real world. They exist, but they use them as like an academic text, basically. And so she reads all these and she's like, okay, I've got to go to hell to go get him back. Because obviously he's in hell. He's not going to heaven. So she's like, he's in hell. I've got to go get him back because I literally have like 2 months left to my program. And he is the only way I'm going to get like all these jobs that I want to get. So she's working on the pentagram to get her there, and she's almost done. And her classmate, who they have like a, I would say love-hate relationship, but at the beginning of the book, it's just sort of a hate relationship. She's drawing the pentagram, and he walks in, and he's like, let me come with you, because I know that's what you're trying to do, so let's go get our professor or whatever, so we can finish, because they're both almost done. So he's like, let's just go get him. And so that's how the book starts.
I think it's interesting that they can just go fetch him from hell. Like,
well, it's hard. It's difficult.
I guess, but then it's like, okay, so it's difficult, but it's just weird that there's a hell, and then it's like, oh, well, actually, you can just come back, you know?
Well, so what it is to get to hell, you have to, there might be light spoilers from here on out, I don't know. To get to hell, you've got to, the price is that you give up half of your lifespan. So to get there in the first place, you basically have to be like, I'm gonna live to be like 80.
That.
The thing is that's very interesting is that they are so academic. They, like, her and Peter are just like, they will basically do anything.
That's crazy.
To do what they want to do, and they're so, like, obsessed with their field that, like, any sacrifice seems okay, basically.
That's wild.
So, well, and her plan is to basically resurrect so you can't bring him back and he's totally normal. It would basically be, he's dead. He's like, his body is like broken and dead, and his soul is sort of like stuffed in there. And so he's like, he would be very uncomfortable, and she would be like dictating him basically, and basically just using his body to say what she wants him to say. So she would have to be like manipulating him with magic to get him to do what she wanted him to do, because it's like a soul stuck in like a dead body basically.
Okay.
So it's not like you could just bring him back and he'd be totally normal. It's like,
okay, so then this makes
her plan is to bring him back, and she knows it would be really painful and really awful, but she doesn't care because he's an asshole. Really horrible. He's a really horrible guy. And so, and there's also like the layers, sort of like in Dante's Inferno. Is that what it is? It is Dante's Inferno. Dante's Peak is the disaster movie. Yes, I always mix those two things. Dante's Peak. I always mix those two things up. So, but it's sort of, there are like layers to hell. So they have to go through, and they're not sure which one he's in. I think the layers are actually what they are in Dante's Inferno. It's just like greed and lust and pride. So it's like there's like 7, I think. And so they've got to go through each one and look for their professor, because they don't know where he is. They're like, we don't know what his worst thing about him is, because he's so terrible. We're actually not sure what the worst thing about him is. So they got to go through all these layers. And, you know, at first they hate each other, but it's sort of because they kind of misunderstand each other, and they kind of have missed each other at like certain points in their lives, and they just don't communicate very well because they're just like two academics that don't really know a lot about personal relationships. So they start out not liking each other, and then they grow on each other. That's sort of part of the plot. But I thought this book was nice because, sci-fi books, I don't know if this would be classified. I'd make fantasy, Mm-hmm. I feel like sometimes when you read a book like that, it, like, all the world building can be a lot.
Yeah.
And it's like, there are all these words you have to remember. Like, I tried to read this sci-fi book that was written in the 80s, like a couple of years ago, and every other word was like some word that, like, I guess I was supposed to know, or that they were trying to explain, but there were so many, like, these huge made-up words that you're like, I don't understand what this is. And those books, I have a hard time with those books, because it's like, how am I supposed to keep track of all of these made-up things when everything, there's nothing normal or tangible that I'm familiar with that I can hold on to. It's just all made up, and you're describing it in a really insane way, and it's just like, I struggle with that. But this, I felt like, even though there were a lot of, made up concepts, and like, it's sort of, there's some philosophy in there, and it feels academically, it almost feels like you're reading something that is real, like real magic almost. Like, it feels like a real academic subject, but obviously it's fake. And we get like, the author has built like the history of magic and like all this backstory to this topic. It feels like she did a lot of research on like a bunch of different topics before writing this book. And I thought it was going to be kind of difficult to read when I started it, but it's actually like pretty easy, and it also made me feel smart because I was able to understand.
I'm actually reading this like really great like science textbook. And like, what is it? Oh, I don't think you'd know it. It's on like physics and like, like the universe.
Math,
okay, cool.
Science.
Yeah.
It's about hell.
Yeah. It's super. Yeah. It's for school.
No, it felt, and it made me feel like I've never read another R.F. Kuang book. So this is like my first one, and I was like, wow, she's a genius. a genius wrote this book, is how I felt reading.
That's so great when you read something, you're like, wow, these so smart.
So smart.
You're
and
so
I
smart.
feel so smart. Because I was able to comprehend this book. So, you know, it was really interesting. And the characters were they're very endearing. They have their flaws. You know, they have their, you know, things where you're like, I'm questioning your decisions. But it was really good. And it also reminded me of The Secret History, kind of, because of, like, their obsession with their craft. And after I finished reading this book, I actually read The Secret History. I reread it finally. So, because I was like, this is kind of like The Secret History. And then I was like, I might as well I'm in this vibe. I'm in the dark academia vibe. I might as well just read The Secret History again. So I feel like if you need like a, you know, I don't know, like a little chunk of books to read, these two books go really well together.
Look at that.
Look at that. Oh my gosh. Have you read any books recently?
I can tell you about the book I am currently reading.
What book are you currently reading?
I'm going to pull up a picture of it because I can't remember the name. It is also the book that I got on our rainy day at the bookstore. Well, it's one of the two books I got. Because, you know, one of my New Year's resolutions was to read more fun books that aren't just like scary or aren't just, you know, like history. No, like I want a fun book. But of course, there's still a little bit of history in it, okay? Because that's just who I am.
Is this your Robin Hood one?
Yes, this book is The Traitor of Sherwood Forest by Amy S. Kaufman. This book is a reimagining of Robin Hood and his merry men. I'm a little more than halfway through, and it's...
What is that? What is his merry men? I always hear people say that. Is that just like Little John?
Yeah, it's just his friends. His little merry
men. Why are they called his merry men?
I don't know. I just said that because that's what they call him in Shrek. He says, "Oh, merry men." They come out, but he's also French, which doesn't really make sense. So, yeah. I steal from the rich and I give to the poor. Like, he starts singing his song. And they tap dance.
They're singing and... Wait, they sing in Shrek?
It's in the first Shrek movie when they get jumped by Robin Hood. It's like a 2-minute scene. And that's when you see Fiona's first, like, fighting skills. Because she just kicks their ass. And she's like, these men in tights or whatever. I don't know. Yeah. So, great. Not a great representation of Robin Hood. But, yeah. What I like about this book is actually... The woman who wrote it, she has like a PhD. I don't have the book in front of me, so I'm not sure. She has some high-level degree in medieval studies. So the book is actually very historically accurate to medieval times. But
kind of like a Robert Eggers movie.
What movies are those?
The Nosferatu guy. All of his movies are like really historically accurate.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Yeah, totally the same. So while like the settings and the clothing and the food and all that stuff and like the religious aspects of this book, they're very accurate. But of course, Robin Hood's not real. Well, he could have been. You never know.
Was he not based on like a real person?
I don't think so.
Like Jesus? Oh.
He's based on Jesus.
No, like how Jesus was based on a real person.
Oh, don't say that. People are going to get mad. Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's just kind of a fun story. I never thought it would. It could be based on a real person. There probably was a lot of people that steal from the rich and give to the poor. I mean, at some point. I don't know. But yeah, it's just crazy, like, especially in this era of, I don't know exactly what year it takes place, but the church, you know, is so greedy and so horrible, and they just stole all the money. So it's a huge focus on that.
They would tell people that they have to do tithes. Like,
the tithes,
like mandatory tithes.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you can't feed your children. Oh, can I have some money, please?
Give to the church. Give us some
please.
coins.
And then they're literally wearing gold and silver and thick robes and like all these things.
And they're like, we're not going to teach you how to read this Bible.
Yeah,
we're going to read it to you so that we can tell you whatever we want. Jesus says, give us money even if you have nothing. Thank you.
Yeah. So there's a lot of aspects of that historical accuracy, but the main focus is our female antagonist. Her name is Jane. And she is one of Robin Hood's merry men. And she works in the kitchens of a nobleman's house, and she listens for secrets and feeds them to Robin, and he's like, hey, I want to do this. She's like, okay, I'll let you in the back door, like stuff like that. But it's she's kind of realizing, she's like, oh, maybe this guy isn't this great hero. He's kind of menacing. He's kind of violent. Like, I'm a little scared. And so it's kind of like she's like putting him on this pillar, and then she's kind of like, oh, he's actually not that good of a guy. So that's kind of, we're on the descent right now, where she's realizing that maybe he's not the kindest guy.
Interesting.
And I'm also trying to figure out if this is going to become smutty. So I'll keep you posted.
Is it supposed to be smutty?
I don't know. It didn't.
Did you just assume?
No, I didn't think it was at all.
Or does it say?
I didn't think it was at all, but then it's kind of been hinting that it might turn into some smut.
With Robin Hood, or
well, because she has a man, but she is very lusty for Robin Hood. So I think
the guy that she's not sure about.
Yeah, but she's like, oh, but because she's still kind of grappling. She's like, oh, like, no, but he did this thing and that was really cool, and so like maybe this was just a one-time thing, and he's just so attractive. What can she do, So I'm trying to figure out if it's gonna turn into some smut. We'll see. I wasn't expecting that because I don't typically go for smut, but yeah, that'll definitely be interesting. Yeah,
well. That sounds good. I'd like to read that when you're done.
Yeah, sure thing. It's pretty easy read. Yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying it. Wow,
amazing. When I went to the used bookstore the other day. I got 2 romance books because I'm trying to get I'm trying to get into like lighter, just have some like books when I'm not really feeling like reading something super intense. Yeah, just like a little lighthearted romance book. So hopefully we'll get into those. I think that they probably both will have some smut in them, but
okay. I mean, it do be a romance book.
We'll see. One of them is the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, I think is what it's called.
And the other I've heard of that.
Is called. Yeah, it's like really popular. I was gonna get it at Barnes and Noble like 2 months ago, and then I couldn't find it. And then I did finally, I was looking. That's what it was. I was looking around for that book for 20 minutes, and then when I finally found it, I read the back of it, and I was like, I'm not paying full price for this book.
Yeah.
That's a no. And then I went to the used bookstore and they had it. And I was like, oh my gosh, first of all, I can't believe this brand new used bookstore has this book. But it was like half or more than half off. So I was like, well, I'll get it now because it's super cheap. So I did that. And I also bought The Wedding Date is what it's called, which I've seen that book a ton. It's got like a red cover and like 2 silhouettes on it. I've seen it a lot. So, and I did get a romance novel when I was at Barnes & Noble like 2 months ago. What is it called? Something about Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping or something. I don't know. It's like a witchy romance novel.
I've heard of that too. Well, those all
you probably
so
have.
exciting.
The cover is really pretty.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so, we'll see. I have a ton of books from the library and that I own that I have not read that I would like to read. And they're just sitting there staring at me. And then I was like, what else I should do is just buy romance books, even though I don't usually read romance books. If I get them from the library, they're just going to sit there and then I'm going to return them. So I might as well own them. Yeah. That way I can read them whenever I want. Yeah. So, I don't know. That's probably flawed thinking, but that's how my brain works. So anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to take advantage of this time of a fun little book because I have just received a nonfiction book that I am eager to start.
What is it?
My boyfriend gave me Killers of the Flower Moon, the Osage Murders, and the Birth of the FBI.
Yeah, I've heard of that a lot.
Yeah, because the movie
There's a movie. Isn't there also a movie? Yeah.
Yeah, with Leonardo DiCaprio. And it's like, I'd rather not watch. Well, it's like, I'll probably watch the movie after I read the book, of course. Because Birth of the FBI, that sounds cool as hell. I want to read that. So, I really want to get started on that.
That's interesting. I actually thought about reading that book too. I'll read that when you're done with it.
Okay, cool. Great. And then I have another nonfiction book I need to read, Masters of the Air, but I don't know if I'm going to read that one.
Oh, yeah.
It's
long.
There
were a couple of books that I have had in my thrift books cart for like several weeks about like socialism. They're like nonfiction, and they're about like I really want to read the indigenous people's history of the United States.
Yeah.
but I have to just bring myself to pull the trigger because I'm really not a nonfiction reader. And I feel like I could really get into nonfiction if I have the right, like, but I just have to, it's really about starting the book.
Yes.
It's hard to start something when you're like, God, this is nonfiction. Like, this is not like, you know, Katabasis where there's magic and like going to hell and like teehee. It's like nonfiction, like real. So it's just like, there's just, I mean, we all struggle reading nonfiction. What the hell? There's like a tiny little bug on my computer. And so I don't remember the last time I read. Although, no, I read that John Green book. Okay. I did read that tuberculosis book.
You did, tuberculosis.
I did. Okay, I read Crying in H Mart. Like, that was like a year ago, but I did do that. So I think I actually read 3 nonfiction books last year. Out of 33, though. So I don't really pick them up that often. That's
better than most people.
I need to. So I'm going to try. But that's also the problem is that I feel like if I don't own the books, then I won't read them and they'll just sit there and I'll be like, wow, that was nice to think that I was going to read a nonfiction book. So if I own them, then it'll be like, read the book.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, do you have anything else to say, to add?
I don't think so.
I don't think I do either. What are you going to do with the rest of your what's the weather like over there?
It was really cold this morning, but now it's like sunny, 60, like pretty gorgeous outside. So, but I've already done like a walk and everything. So I actually have a Super Bowl party tomorrow. So I am making.
Ew.
Okay, well, it's not even a party. It's just with one friend. So I'm in charge of making vegan spinach and artichoke dip. So after we're done here, I'm going to make that. And then I think I'm going to go out to dinner and drinks with some friends. So a pretty great Saturday. What about you?
That sounds lovely. Well, today, what are we going to do? Oh, we got to go to the coffee shop. I'm going to sit and skim quickly, probably. I've actually been, like, reading The Lost World, which I realized last night. I was like, oh, this is not how I typically would do this. But, so I got to do that. I got to take my notes, so I'll probably just go do that for a couple hours. And then we have to go to the grocery store and do all of our just boring regular stuff.
So fun.
And then relax. Anywho, got to go do that. So...
Fun.
Well, have fun making your artichoke dip.
Yeah. I have to make sure I don't eat all of it while I'm making it because it sounds really good.
That would probably be a good call.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Well, thanks for listening to this We Tell Each Other Books phone call episode. We'll be doing more of these as we work on our larger, more in-depth episodes so we can have some smaller discussion, yapping moments, and book recommendations in between. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at A Book for My Sister podcast. Our next episode will be our final Into the Crichtonverse episode. So, keep on yapping and reading until then. Bye, Amelia.
Bye, Cassie.
Bye.
Bye. Should we, since this is supposed to be a phone call, should I be like, Cassie, what are you going to do with the rest of your day?
Sure.
Okay,
Amelia, what are you going to do with the rest of your day? Okay, you can ask me.